We have a plan, because of the power of our military, where every bridge in Iran will be decimated by 12 o'clock tomorrow night, where every power plant in Iran will be out of business, burning, exploding, and never to be used again. I mean, complete demolition by 12 o'clock. And it'll happen over a period of 4 hours if we wanted to. We don't want that to happen. We may even get involved with helping them rebuild their nation. And you know what? If that's the case, the last thing we want to do is start with power plants, which are among the most expensive thing, and bridges. You saw the bridge. The bridge went. We were very close to a deal. And then I got a call from Mr. Witkoff, Mr. Kushner, and JD saying, I think they're breaking the deal. I said, tell them that's okay. Don't worry about it. But tell them to look out their window and watch. And within 45 minutes, I gave the order to knock out the biggest bridge. I gave the order, knock out the biggest bridge in, I believe, the Middle East, but the biggest bridge in Iran. And within 10 minutes after I gave that order, that bridge was over. So do I want to do that? No. Do I want to destroy their infrastructure? No. It will take them 100 years to rebuild. Right now, if we left today, it would take them 20 years to rebuild their country, and it would never be as good as it was. And the only way they're going to be able to rebuild their country is to utilize the genius of the United States of America.
Time is ticking, 12 hours and counting for tonight's 8 p.m. Eastern deadline for Iran to make a deal to open up the Strait of HORMUZ. President Trump says there will be no extension, and he's increasing his language as he threatens widespread damage across Iran.
That's one thing that's a little different than other things. We can bomb the hell out of them. We can knock them out for a loop. But to close the strait, all you need is one terrorist that somehow has a truck loaded with, because you can carry them in trucks, large trucks, a water mine, drop them in the water, and now you tell people that own ships that cost $1 billion to don't worry about the mine. You can do that even just by saying we put mines in the water. So it's not like the rest. We can knock out their military. We already have. We've knocked out their Navy. We've knocked out their Air Force completely. We've knocked out 158 ships in 3 days. We've knocked out even their mine droppers. They don't have any mine droppers anymore, but they put them on other boats, and they could drop them. I'm not even sure they have any mines there, by the way. I'm not sure. I'm personally, they say there might be 8. I don't know. I think there might be none, because they're very good bullshit artists. That's why for 47 years they've been bullshitting other presidents, and they haven't done the job. And people are living in hell. You live in that country, they're living in hell.
And the president just posting this moments ago, saying a whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. I don't want that to happen, but it probably will. However, now that we have complete and total regime change where different, smarter, and less radicalized minds prevail, maybe something revolutionary and wonderful can happen. Who knows, he asked. We will find out tonight. One of the most important moments in the long and complex history of the world. 47 years of extortion, corruption, and death will finally end. God bless the great people of Iran, he says. Also, new video from overnight showing Tehran's airport up in flames. President Trump saying tonight, again, at 8, bridges and power plants will be blown away. Political expert Weston Martinez is with us today to discuss this and also a wide array of topics coming out of Washington. We'll start here, though. Weston, good to see you. We're now just hours away from tonight's 8 p.m. deadline. How serious is this moment?
You know, we've never been at a greater crossroads. Here we are making the 250th year of our country come in with a bang and really have an opportunity to reshape how the United States sits in the world. We have an opportunity to secure our future and secure the future of all those people around the world that are supporting freedom and that are supporting life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, something that our founding fathers penned into our fantastic Constitution 250 years ago. And I'm thankful that people around the world are having that opportunity. You never have someone like President Trump, who's a builder by nature, it hurts somebody like that to destroy infrastructure. You never want to destroy something unless you already have a plan to make it better than it was before. Leave things better than you found it. Kind of a attitude the way we are down here in Texas. Leave things better than the way you found them.
Absolutely. And, when you talk about President Trump and this war that's going on, the Epic Fury War, President Trump has been saying this in interviews since the 1980s. Weston saying that Iran does not need to have nuclear weapons. He has campaigned on this from the time he came down the golden escalators. He has said this for over a decade on the campaign trail. Iran does not need to have nuclear weapons. We saw what happened in 2024. Everyone, the left was just destroyed in the elections. He won the popular vote. This is what people voted for. But now all of a sudden, the left and also some rhinos, they act surprised that this has even taken place. What is your reaction to the critics who are criticizing President Trump for going in and doing this in Iran?
I guarantee you that each one of those critics has never been overseas to see how women are treated, to see how all of the people that they say need safe spaces here in the United States of America, how they're treated over there. And when we're looking at this, we've got presidential leadership after presidential leadership that has had the opportunity to resolve this issue. And instead, they have been playing with this issue. I made a comment pre-screen, I don't negotiate with terrorists and 2-year-olds. And President Trump has the same attitude. We know that you've got to go in there and fix it. If somebody's been saying forever they're going to kill you, and they spend 80% of they fund 80% of Hamas, they fund all of these theaters of terror and destruction of Western civilization, freedom. If they are trying to kill us every way they possibly can, they probably mean it. And President Trump knows he's got 2 years left. He's got to take the gloves off and he's got to come out resolving these issues, or they might never get resolved in the future, because he knows how to fix it, how to build it, and how to put us in the best opportunity and give the citizens of this country the living legacy that I really think he really wants to give us. And that's one of freedom and opportunity.
Right. And he's being proactive, not reactive. The Strait of Hormuz being closed, it causes global impact. And we're seeing gas prices starting to rise. But in the grand scheme of things, Weston, this is just temporary. So I am okay. Yeah, I know some people probably won't agree with this, but I'm okay. Just this morning, I had to fill up my tank and it was a lot higher than what I'm used to. But at the same time, I know it's temporary. I know, like you said, I have seen the videos, I have seen the pictures, I have talked to people of Iran who have fled there to come to the United States to live better lives. This is for them. And, they're all human beings. We should all be treated equally, right? That's what the Bible says. And so President Trump is going in and making sure the people of Iran have a fresh new start. And if it means higher gas prices for just a short period, then so be it.
Right. And we have to take this opportunity so we can no longer be held hostage. The whole reason why we couldn't even export LNG from the United States of America is because Jimmy Carter cut a deal to say, if you'll let these people go, we won't go in there, we won't export it. So we had a whole generation of natural gas that was not exported here in these United States. Can you imagine the generational wealth that was stolen from us by just the signature of a pen? I think President Trump realizes that. He realizes the authority of the executive office and the beauty that it works within our other branches of our government. And he's not taking his opportunity for granted. Clearly, having an election stolen from him, he had 4 years to think about what he was going to do and how he was going to make things right. And that's where I'm so thankful for his leadership and his boldness. And I'm thankful for people like you highlighted it, because the prices that what we have going on in Iran is a global killer in very many senses of the word, because of how much they refine over there. And when you take Venezuela and Iran and you start, rocking the table, just go put a glass on your table and just shift down your table and you'll see things start to slide, and now we look at the opportunity to free the people of Cuba. I guarantee you, we're not only are we going to free the people of Iran, we're going to free the people of Cuba, and most importantly, we're going to free the citizens of the United States of America, so that the economic engine can be unleashed and unleash these people that have been so overburdened and overtaxed. But we've got to make sure that these next 2 years that Trump really has his hands on the steering wheel. and is moving things forward. And that's what we're seeing. I mean, even the training, if you go watch the last Top Gun that wasn't woke and made great movies chips at the box office, this is almost like Top Gun #2, because they had an old colonel, and old, is probably a 50-year-old guy that climbed 7,000 feet to escape and evade the prisoners. And he was injured and bleeding and a bunch of other stuff. And, that's some of the stuff that's been coming out fresh this morning from some of my military folks that I talk to on a daily basis. So we had a failed operation way back in the 70s, and it was Operation Iron Claw, and we vowed to never let that happen again. And there have been folks in our military been training for a situation like this. And this is the full United States military and a good leader on display, setting people free, not trying to enslave them or make them wear hijabs or impose Sharia law or any of these other things that the liberal woke media wants to support, but yet oppose people like you and I and President Trump.
Yeah, you're absolutely right there. And, again, we're waiting for 8 p.m. tonight, just like President Trump. We don't want to see this happen. They have gone to the bargaining table. A deal has not been in place. He has warned them and he has warned them. And so we'll see what happens at 8 o'clock tonight Eastern time. You'll be watching all of that here. We'll have coverage for you on Lindell TV. Also big over the weekend, Weston, was our second airman who was rescued. Pete Hegseth gave some details on that rescue mission yesterday during a press conference. Let's listen to what he had to say.
One downed airman evaded capture for more than a day, scaling rugged ridges while hunted by the enemy. When he was finally able to activate his emergency transponder, his first message was simple and it was powerful. He sent a message: God is good. In that moment of isolation and danger, his faith and fighting spirit shone through. You see, shot down on a Friday, Good Friday, hidden in a cave, a crevice, all of Saturday, and rescued on Sunday. Flown out of Iran as the sun was rising on Easter Sunday. A pilot reborn, all home and accounted for, a nation rejoicing. God is good.
No man left behind, Weston. What does this say about our great military?
I mean, never has a military operation encapsulated the gospel in just 3 days, right? And so it says that our military, when just like the American people, when they have the right leaders and when they're unleashed, they truly have the ability to be the greatest that the world has to offer. And when we look at the training, the planning, and the sophistication, all of these other world leaders, they need to realize they need to be thankful when we have good leaders involved here in the United States of America. And to the servicemen and women, when we have people going unfunded in our military and in our government because we've got Democrats that don't want to fund those things, I want to remind them of people like this sacrifice. That is where we truly have the opportunity to shine. And again, the resemblance of being Resurrection Weekend, Good Friday, and everything that goes along with it, you couldn't. I wonder who's going to play the actors. It's going to be a great, great time to remember and to lead our country with.
Yes, definitely our heroes. But you talked about the funding. The left doesn't want to fund our military. We saw, our military has always been the best in the world, Weston, no matter who's in the presidential seat. However, we saw a lot of woke in the military when Biden was in office. And so we have our strong God first military back in force. And it's great to see. It's beautiful to see. And also beautiful to hear that this downed warfighter, the first thing he said when he made radio contact was God is good. That goes to show just how blessed they are to be there fighting for our country and be alive and come home and tell their families about this story. But it's also our ICE agents as well. They're not overseas, but there's a lot here in our homeland that they're fighting every single day when it comes to these terrorists from overseas. They're getting the worst of the worst. We're going to talk about some of this here in a little bit on the show. The worst of the worst out of our neighborhoods. And the left doesn't want to fund the Department of Homeland Security because they just don't like ICE. They're doing their job and protecting the homeland.
Exactly, and even over the weekend, we had the a couple of relatives related to Soleimani that were taken into custody and are in the process of being deported. And one of them, I guess it's the son of the mom, that's actually a liberal teacher, professor in California. And so this guy's over here, teaching people about radicalized Islam. It's really wild what we have going on. So hats off to Secretary Rubio, Secretary Mark Wayne Mullins, who I know, and what they've been doing to collaborate and work together for the good of the people and make our country safe. It shouldn't have to be a novelty. It should be a reality.
Absolutely. And switching to another department that we're watching a shakeup is the Department of Justice. Pam Bondi is out as Attorney General. Todd Blanche is in temporarily. There's a lot of speculation about who could fill the role permanently. What are you hearing?
You know, it, I'm hearing that President Trump is going to pick someone, number one, that he trusts, number two, that loves the Constitution. Also, we, the American people, we need somebody that's a fighter, somebody that doesn't need to learn on the job, somebody that Trump doesn't have to look over his shoulders at. We need a lion, not a lamb. And, God bless Pam Bondi. She did some good things. There's some things I wish she would have done differently, but she's out and looking forward to the future. President Trump needs to pick someone that is the last attorney general that he's ever going to have to work with. And again, it needs to be somebody that's fought against the DOJ, fought against things like January 6th, and representing those people that were taken advantage of by the Department of Justice, including one of my clients, and then also making sure that they know that voter fraud is a real issue. And I'll tell you, the name that keeps surfacing when I keep talking to people is Peter Tickton. Peter Tickton is a great lawyer, actually went to military academy with President Trump. And if you go back and look, these guys actually have been rooting out corruption since they were teenagers. There's a documented story of someone that was doing stuff in their barracks at the New York Military Academy, and these two guys worked together to get this thing resolved. And I could see no better capstone to the president's presidency than to bring along a person he trusts, a person the American people trust. I mean, he's even representing Tina Peters right now on getting her out of the situation she's in. So that's when I talk to people who they're looking for. There's only one name that comes to the top, and that's Peter Tickton.
Wow, that's actually the first I've heard that. We hear a lot about Harmeet Dillon and others, but Peter Tickton, we'll keep an eye out on him, a good friend of ours here on Lindell TV, because we do follow the Tina Peters case closely. Of course, we want to free Tina Peters as soon as possible, but we do know that in the end, no matter who's in that seat, Americans want arrests. That's what we voted for, arrests to be made. And so I'm hoping that we'll see that in the near future. Also in Congress, Weston passing the Save America Act. This one's mind-boggling. The president giving kudos to the House Freedom Caucus just this week after they posted that they got the bill passed in the House, and now it's the Senate's turn. A lot of disappointment in Senator Thune for dragging this out. What's taking so long?
We've got these, people in Congress are always playing politics, and I told somebody a long time ago, it's not even Republicans and Democrats, it's patriots and traitors. And when you see things like this take place, that's when you realize that's really what the sides are. It's patriots and traitors. Look, honestly, the SAVE Act, it's not even, if we just enforce the laws on the books, we wouldn't even need it. But thank God President Trump issued the executive order saying, hey, I'm not going to wait. He's not a wait and see kind of guy. He's an action guy. And, making sure that we have the SAVE Act in place is a good thing. It puts an exclamation mark on the laws that we have. But we need to make sure that every state is run with integrity. These machines are being used against us, and these are some good steps, good first steps at securing our elections. But ultimately, we've got to get to the last step, and that's getting the machines out of our election cycle.
You are preaching to the choir there. We want to melt down the machines so bad. And we are just having a struggle with the basics. And that's just voter ID and same day voting and just making sure our elections are secure and people aren't voting multiple times and all the things that comes with cheating. But we can't even get the basics done. And so it makes us all want to bang our head against the wall.
Well, and even here in Texas, I'm the one that found the multiple voters that we talked about, and we've got some new information I wanted to break with your audience first, and that is in our elections here in Bexar County, there were 11 DS200s that were not that didn't have zero numbers. They had votes on them whenever they started, and the election administrator and the team down here was aware of it, and they didn't even know how to solve the problem. So we've got much bigger problems than we could have ever thought. You were right about the elections. I was right. Mike Lindell was right. All of the people, Peter Tickton was right. Everybody that said that our elections have been tampered with, it's true. So thank you for bringing it up.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you brought that up. We'll be watching Bexar County. If you could give us any update there, we'd love to hear it. Hopefully they're investigating that. Anything that you can tell us on that front?
The only investigation that's happening is by a group of patriots, and that includes
Of
me,
course.
some other people you might know, right? Dr. D, the Zark Files, and Lori Gallagher. But there are some more breaking news coming out related to the 11 machines and the fact that other people identified multiple voters, and that the election judge, the central count election judge, presiding judge in Bexar County, was actually involved in voter tampering, working for and against candidates while they were the certifying election judge for the entire election of Bexar County in the centralized vote. Even the documents that she signed in the preliminary votes and the formal votes, they had different numbers on them. So that's information that I wanted to drop here on this program today. I'll send you the copies so you can put that out. But it's so ridiculous, and they're using the machines against us.
Absolutely. Yes. Send me those copies. We'll make sure our viewers know about that. But when you're telling me the story and how this one worker knew, my mind goes right back to what we just discussed. Tina Peters. Yet Tina Peters is in jail, but yet these people who are obviously cheating or know that cheating is going on, they're walking freely.
Exactly. And that's why we're having a Twitter space tomorrow to unpack some of this, because there's more coming. And without people like you and your listeners, people wouldn't know. So thank you for bringing the truth and not being afraid to speak the truth. And that's why I encourage everybody to watch your program, because it's just real.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And thank you for what you do and making sure that our elections are secure and the fight going on there in Bexar County, Texas. Heading into midterms, what do we need to do? The American people gave an ultimatum. This is what we want. And one of those was secure elections. We wanted a secure border. We got that. That was number one for all of America. In a poll, post Super Tuesday of 2024, that was number one, with the economy way down in second place. I mean, there was a huge 20-30 point difference. And so there's a lot of work that needs to be done. President Trump not getting a lot of help from Congress. But when it comes to elections, do you think that Republicans have the momentum going into November?
President Trump has the momentum, and Republicans are slowing him down. I mean, look, here in Texas, our Constitution doesn't even allow for early voting. But our Secretary of State issues waivers, AKA, you can conduct an election violating Texas law. And that's what we're dealing with. And that's how these machines have the ability to exist. So what we need to do so that our election is not totally hijacked even more is we've got to get rid of the machines. We've got to go back to the hand-marked paper ballots. All those hand-marked paper ballot machines, those are all there and ready to go. They are a protocol that is legally allowed to be used. And when you have what we're dealing with in the primary take place, where we've got 735 votes turned into 4,110, and these are not illegal voters. The SAVE Act is addressing illegal voters that are on the ballots. These are American citizens that are registered voters that were duplicated. And so the only thing that we can do is get rid of those machines, eliminate countywide voting, and go back to precinct level voting. And if we do that, those are much bigger steps forward than anything Congress could do. And I think that President Trump, I think he's going to issue an executive order to do it, and you will see the safest election we've ever seen. So I'm here to make elections great again, and I know you are too. And we encourage your listeners to share that message, because people need to know. Your congressman needs to know that they need to do it. Your state rep, your state senator, the governor of Texas, they all need to know. We don't need a secretary of state or anybody issuing waivers to get around Texas election code or whatever state your listeners are watching from.
You're absolutely right. And we're going to continue the good fight. Weston, make sure you send those documents in. We look forward to updating our viewers on that and following your journey there in Bexar County. Thanks so much for being here with us today and providing that information.
Thank you, and God is good.
All right, let's take a look at a few outstanding men ICE is rounding up across the country. Here's a few, starting with Jose Reyes Maldonado. He's a previously convicted and deported Mexican criminal illegal alien. He was deported in 2005 after serving 7 years for shooting someone with a rifle. He continued re-entering the U.S. illegally and evaded authorities for years. He'll face deportation again after facing federal illegal re-entry and weapons charges for this arrest. Next up, out of California, meet Alexis Rodriguez. He's a criminal alien and a Sereno Mexican mafia member. He was convicted of felony firearm possession and has pending charges for racketeering and distributing, possessing methamphetamine and fentanyl. And last but certainly not least, today we have this beauty, Luis Calderon Martinez, a criminal illegal alien from El Salvador and MS-13 gang member, convicted of felonies including conspiracy to distribute methamphetamine, heroin, and cocaine, carjacking, bringing a controlled substance into a prison, hit and run, property damage, illegal entry, and driving under the influence in New Jersey, Arizona, and California. He's now locked up to be deported out of here. It is unknown at this time if there is a tattoo parlor in his home country. ICE is rounding them up and getting them out of here. Fox sat down with the new Secretary of Homeland Security, Mark Wayne Mullen.
Obviously had the role of senator. You've seen Cory Booker and others talk about this department and what they see wrong with it. As you step into this job, how do you see it now?
Well, Cory is an acquaintance that I have got to know quite a bit. Unfortunately, what you see from a lot of Democrats right now is political theater, because what they've done is they defunded Department of Homeland Security. I mean, that's like defunding the Department of War, right? Department of War takes care of us abroad. Department of Homeland Security, we take care of everything that is in our backyard. And so what they're saying isn't actually what they're actually trying to do, because when we start talking about ICE agents are simply trying to enforce the policies that Congress passed. As Secretary, Brett, I don't get to pick and choose which policies I enforce. I enforce all the policies that Congress put on my plate. And how we do that is, well, we're a nation of laws, so we simply enforce the laws. If Cory and some of our Democrats want to change it, then let's have immigration reform. Let's seriously talk about what we're doing. But instead, they're wanting to defund ICE, and they're wanting to defund our Customs and Border Patrol. So essentially what they're saying is we don't want to deport any of our felonies or our felons or the criminals that are here that came underneath the Biden administration, and they want to open our border completely. And I don't know how we get past that, because at the end of the day, I've got a job to do, and I want to do it.
Just like the men we showed you just minutes ago, they are going after the most dangerous illegals first. That's the department's main goal. When we come back, Representative Tim Burchett talks to TMZ about aliens, UFOs, and a secret meeting where he learned who's really out there. Plus, we'll take you to the White House Easter egg roll coming up next.
Something so out of the ordinary. How are you laying me down to a dead and buried on the edge of your night, staying drunk on your ride. The angels up in the clouds are jealous knowing we found something so out of the ordinary. I want you laying me down to a dead and buried on the edge of your night, staying drunk on your ride.
Have you ever noticed how complicated it is to get your medication? When you're not feeling well or you're running low on something, it turns into a whole process. You call the doctor, your appointment's days away, you sit in the waiting room, then you stand in line at the pharmacy, and sometimes they don't even have it. That's the old system. It is slow, it's frustrating, and it doesn't have to be that way. That's why I've been telling you about All Family Pharmacy. My family loves it, and I use them myself. You go online, you choose what you need, you fill out a short medical form, and one of their licensed doctors reviews your request. If it's appropriate, they write up the prescription, and it ships straight to your front door. This is how healthcare should work. If you believe in being prepared like I do, this is one of the smartest moves you can make. Go to allfamilypharmacy.com/Lindell. Use the code Lindell10 to save 10% today.
Welcome to Vocal, the free speech social app that gives you a platform to amplify your voice. Speak freely, connect boldly, and be part of a growing movement for truth, faith, and freedom. Want to know what's happening right now? The Now Playing feature shows you exactly who's live and what's streaming in real time. Check out the show's feed, a non-stop lineup including LINDELLTV News 24/7, shows and on-demand programming all in one place. Connect with your favorite host and never miss a show. Explore the featured page for quick access to LINDELLTV's top shows. Follow your favorites and watch their newest content flow right into your feed. And when they go live on Vocal, you can join the live chat and be part of the action. Ask questions, share your thoughts, even help shape future shows. Stay informed on issues around securing our elections by following your state's Cause of America account. Join a group and connect on a deeper level, from faith and freedom to the future of our nation. Go to vocal.com or download the app today and be a part of the mission to save our country.
So today is a very special day. It's a day where we celebrate Jesus. It's a day where we celebrate religion. And it's an honor to be the President of the United States. Our country is doing so well, like it has never done before. You'll see that very shortly. And things that we've done have not been done before. We've broken every record on the stock market. We've broken every record in our military. And what about the rescue that took place yesterday? What about that? That's something that you rarely see. You know, they were giving me a briefing about that. And they said normally when you're in very hostile territory, and I don't think it gets much more hostile than Iran, they're capable fighters. They're very tough people. And there are others like that. You don't mind when the enemy is weak, but that enemy is strong. Not so strong like they were about a month ago. I can tell you, in fact, right now, they're not too strong at all, in my opinion, but we're soon going to find out, aren't we? But when a thing like that happens, where a pilot shot down, in most instances, you're really not able to go in, because you'll go in with 200 people and lots of jet fighters and helicopters, and you really don't have a chance. They get shot down. You lose 200 in order to pick up one. It's a horrible thing, but it's very rare that you can do it. And what we did yesterday is we picked up not one, we picked up two. We kept the first one quiet, and we were able to keep it quiet for about a day, which made it a lot better. But those two pilots were incredible, brave, and we thank them. And we're going to be having a news conference today at 1 o'clock at the Oval Office, and we look forward to it. But I just want to say we have a great military. We're the greatest military, the most powerful military any place in the world.
I wonder how the Easter Bunny feels listening to President Trump talk about our military right next to him at the White House. It's one of Washington's most beloved springtime traditions. The White House Easter egg roll, bringing thousands of families to the South Lawn for a day of celebration and community. It's a tradition that dates back to 1878 under President Rutherford Hayes. Kids have a egg rolling race using wooden spoons. They participate in story time readings, music, entertainment, the Easter Bunny, of course, and interactive activities like coloring with the president and first lady. Let's listen in.
I could sign autographs. Tonight you can sell them for $25,000.
Is that mine? Is that mine?
I'll sign.
Carolina, do you want to give Grandpa your
Caroline is the only one that doesn't want my autograph. She has zero. I would say Carolina has zero interest in my autograph. Oh, that's nice. I think I'm going to sign this. That way I'll say, I drew it. Look, I drew it. Look what I did, everybody. Biden would use the auto pen. He'd have an auto pen problem. Joe Biden, he didn't sign. He was incapable of signing things. So they'd follow him around with this big machine, you know what it was called? An auto pen. And he'd have the auto pen signed for him. He'd take the paper, hand it to his guys, and sign it with an auto pen, give it back. It's not too good, right?
Only President Trump teaching the kids about the auto pen. Guests always receive a commemorative wooden egg, a keepsake that has become a collector's item for families who attend.
Integrity crew. On April 15th, 1970, during the Apollo 13 mission, 3 explorers set the record for the farthest distance humans have ever traveled from our home planet. At that time, over 55 years ago, Lovell, Swigert, and Hayes flew 248,655 statute miles away from Earth. Today, for all humanity, you're pushing beyond that frontier. Integrity, over to you.
From the cabin of Integrity here as we surpass the furthest distance humans have ever traveled from planet Earth. We do so in honoring the extraordinary efforts and feats of our predecessors in human space exploration. We will continue our journey even further into space before Mother Earth succeeds in pulling us back to everything that we hold dear. But we most importantly choose this moment to challenge this generation and the next to make sure this record is not long-lived.
Thank you, Integrity, and congratulations to you and the rest of the Artemis II team.
Congratulations to them. The NASA astronauts have made history going where no man has gone before. They pushed boundaries of human exploration, sending a crew nearly 250,000 miles from Earth beyond the far side of the moon. You're looking at live pictures right now from NASA. This is of their journey back to Earth, so they are on their way home. When they passed behind the moon, they did temporarily lose communication with Earth, entering a complete radio blackout, but they came out of it successful after taking high-resolution pictures of the moon's craters and naming them as they passed by.
We recently received confirmation that the Orion spacecraft and its crew have officially entered the lunar sphere of influence, that milestone taking place at a mission elapsed time of 4 days, 6 hours, 2 minutes, and 54 seconds into the Artemis II mission. By reaching this milestone, it means that the gravitational forces of the moon are now greater on the Orion spacecraft than that of Earth.
I'd also like to share that we noticed we entered the lunar sphere of influence about an hour ago, and sure enough, we are now falling to the moon rather than rising away from Earth. It is an amazing milestone. Also, earlier we had the Earth out as a crescent out the side hatch and the moon out window 3, and definitely by far the moon is bigger than the Earth.
This has been so amazing to watch. The night was very successful, and they even received a surprise phone call from President Trump.
Did you see a difference, a big difference between the far side of the moon and the near side of the moon? Was there a difference in feel or difference in look?
What did you see?
Well, Mr. President, we certainly did, and our science team really set us up well to understand what they thought we might see. And the gravitational pull of the Earth has had a profound effect on the near side of the moon, changing all those dark mares, those dark patches of the moon you see from Earth. It's very different on the far side. While you see some small patches of those mare in deep craters, it's very much absent on that side, so that's really neat. And while I have the microphone, sir, I just want to thank you on behalf of Canada. The space leadership you spoke of from America truly is extraordinary. I've said this many times before. A nation that leads like that and creates and sets big goals for humanity that brings other countries along with it is truly incredible. And I know that's a very intentional, not a necessary decision, intentional decision to lead by example and to allow other countries like Canada to share our gifts and help you achieve these mutually beneficial goals, like establishing a presence on the moon and eventually going to Mars. And Canadians are so proud to be a part of this program.
Well, I have to say I spoke to a very special person, Wayne Gretzky, who I think you know, the great one. And I spoke to your prime minister and many other friends I have in Canada. They are so proud of you, and you have a lot of courage. I'm not sure if they'd want to do that. I'm not even sure if the great one would want to do that, to be honest with you. But you have a lot of courage doing what you're doing, a lot of bravery and a lot of genius. But they're very, very proud of you.
One of those astronauts is originally from Canada, where that conversation came about. Let's talk about their journey home. When the spacecraft accelerates back toward Earth, it will re-enter the atmosphere at 25,000 miles per hour. Can you imagine? That's one of the fastest human returns ever attempted. We haven't heard of any alien sightings, though, while they've been in space. But since President Trump signed an executive order ordering the release of all government files related to aliens and UFOs, people are starting to talk. Well, Congressman Tim Burchett went on TMZ to discuss what he knows about alien life. Watch.
I've been briefed by just about every alphabet agency there is. And I'll just tell you this, if they would release the things that I've seen, you would stay up, you'd be up at night worrying about or thinking about this stuff. We just need to disclose it all. I'm sick of it. I'll just tell you this, I was briefed last week on an issue, or excuse me, 2 weeks ago, and it would have set the earth on. This country would have come unglued, I think, if they would have heard all that I heard.
So joining us right now,
yes,
is the congressman.
Exactly, Congressman Tim Burchett. Welcome back to TMZ Live. How are you doing?
I'm a little close to the camera. Let me move back. That's a little too much, Tim Burchett. How about that?
We have a joke about that we tell, but we're not going to use it.
Yeah.
All
right. Look.
So what did you see now, I guess it would be about 2 weeks ago? That was very alarming, the way you said that, at least.
Yeah, well, because of the circumstances and where it was, I can't get into too much specifics, but it was elaborating on some stuff that we'd asked for, and it was important to get this person in a secure setting to where we could ask him these questions. And there was somebody in the meeting with us, one of my colleagues, I guess you'd say, was basically there just to kind of upset the apple cart and to throw, a monkey wrench into the deal. And every time a question was asked by this particular party, it was really the answers were out there, and they gave them, and they gave specifics, they gave addresses, they gave times and dates and people that were in the meeting. And this went all the way up to the executive branch of previous presidents, not this current president. And, it's something that needs to be said, that I've said this before, and I've heard it in these secure type settings, is that these arrogant jerks that are in government, and they're unelected bureaucrats, and they told me the president is on a need-to-know basis. And to me, that should send a chilling effect. You all as journalists, and you are journalists, you've uncovered more than 3/4 of the mainstream media that's out there now in what's going on in our country. And and you do it and make people laugh. So I think that's and I dig y'all for that.
So you mentioned that somebody apparently was testifying and gave information. We've done a bunch of documentaries. You've been a part of some of them on this. I'm interested to know, is the person that delivered this information somebody who's out of government, somebody who was in the Navy? I mean, there are
somebody in government, and I hate to correct you on something. They were not testifying. They did not hold up their right hand and
what kind of a meeting was it then? What kind of a meeting?
Well, it was what you would say. It's kind of James Bond kind of stuff. It's in a very secure setting. I'll just say that, and leave it at that. But but it was it's in a chilling effect to me when they say things like that. It's like we're untouchable. You can't handle what's going on. It's up to us to decide what you can and cannot see. And to me, I just don't like a government like that. I'm a very transparent. I don't care. I mean, I know y'all are liberal out there and then we're conservative out here, but the reality is there's a good reason that liberals and conservatives, one thing they can't agree on is they don't trust the dadgum government because of this arrogance. And we need more transparency. That's why I love it when y'all uncover something, which you've done a pretty good job of in the last few weeks.
Thank you, Congressman. There have been different reports over the years. Some reports that there have been pieces of machinery that were found that did not seem earthly. And then there have been reports about life that is not earthly. Which one of those two, or both, are you talking about? A form of life that is not earthly, or just something mechanical that's not earthly?
I'd say you'd be safe to say both.
Huh.
And now, and my big thing on this is this. Look, I have my own beliefs. People throw it up in my face. Oh, you say you're a Christian, but this isn't very Christ-like. Or I said, dude, the Bible, Genesis 1 says God created the heavens and the earth. And then you read chapter 1 of Ezekiel. That's Old Testament, just like Genesis is. And they talk about Ezekiel seeing the wheel, a wheel within a wheel. And, and they keep throwing up obstacles to us. They're saying this is demonic, this is positional, it's time and everything else and all that. And I don't get into all that. I just want to know what we're spending tens of millions of your dollars on every year. Every department has it. NASA, they went on record a few weeks ago and said, oh, we have no proof. We've got no files. We got no pictures. And I said, well, what the hell was I did y'all brief me on a while back on if we don't? This thing is it just drives me crazy. You got one side saying one thing and the other side saying the other, and they're both in the same departments and they're so compartmentalized. That's why Washington is a mess. We're not going to fix it, but if we got a president with the guts to put this stuff out and just dump it on us, dump every bit on us and let us figure it out.
The way you described this, whatever happened at this meeting, this briefing that was happening, was there something that if we knew, we would feel that we are in danger? You said you wouldn't sleep at night if you knew the things that I saw in these briefings.
Yeah.
Should we believe that that's the part where it seemed alarming?
I don't think we're at danger of this. I mean, if these things exist as I think they do, they could have destroyed us with a blink of an eye. I just don't see that. And I think that I just think, but I do think they have the technology and the capabilities of something that we can't understand or we can't grasp.
So you are saying, help me and correct me if I'm wrong, that a government official.
See, Charlie, this is what reporters do. They say, don't wait a minute. What you're saying is.
Yeah, because I don't want to misquote you. So
you're right.
No,
You got some guy looking over the counter. Some of those guys is looking over the counter and saying, "Does this guy really talk like this?"
No. I'm actually yielding to the gentleman. That what I want to make sure I'm understanding is a member of our government has told you and others, I guess, that there is a form of alien life and machinery which maybe brought this living creature here that interacted in some form with people?
Yeah, they have, and they've. It's pretty wild. I know, but I'm just telling you, I'm not going to lie to you. I'd take a lie to tell you. You want to put me on a polygraph, I'll take it. But this is what the guy told me. I mean, I've had a very high-ranking naval official describe. I've talked about this before. Underwater craft, something big as a football field, moving at over 200 miles an hour. And there's no fish in the ocean that would do that. We don't even have a sub that'll probably do 40 miles an hour under the. And the last thing he said before he left my office was, it was kind of weird because he didn't go out he went out the side door, which nobody ever uses. And he looked at me, he pulled me up close, and he said, "Tim, they're real." And that's the last thing he said to me. That'll be the title of my book, I guess.
I don't know. The world is waiting. Are we ready for it? I don't think the world is. It may cause a frenzy. We shall see. But Congressman Burchett opening up a door of more speculation and basically letting us know aliens do exist. We'll keep you posted on what we learn. And we have more to come this morning. A look at Wall Street opening bell and your news to go. But first, a reminder that I'm on all social media platforms. You can follow me online, connect with me. I would love to talk to you on X, Vocal, Truth Social, Instagram, and YouTube. We are there live every single day on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe, and we'll be right back.
For the first time ever, we're bringing you My Pillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our My Pillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our My Pillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door absolutely free. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to get MyPillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping.
Taking a quick look at Wall Street opening numbers on MarketWatch.com. The Dow, the S&P 500, NASDAQ not looking good at this hour. Markets are under pressure right now early today due to the major deadline tied to reopening the Strait of HORMUZ. Oil is also surging above $110 a barrel at this hour. And when it comes to our farmers, they're feeling the effects of the war as well. Secretary Rawlins was asked about the rising costs while outside the White House. Here's what she had to say.
Madam Secretary, can you just tell us how concerned the administration is that fertilizer prices are increasing right now as we're going into planting season, and would the administration consider another package for farmers?
Well, everything is on the table right now. Clearly this, I think we're at 36 days for the conflict, has elevated the issue of fertilizer and how important it is for American farmers and frankly for our food supply. Food security is national security. Now, the good news is that about 80% of our farmers actually last fall locked in their fertilizer. So as we're moving into planting season, it's only about 20 to 25% of our farmers that didn't lock that in. We are working directly to ensure that we can get them what they need and it won't bankrupt them. The president waived the Jones Act. We opened up a line, I believe, from Venezuela. We have more announcements coming soon. The short term is really important that that kind of 20% of farmers that were keeping the fertilizer prices in the realm of the possible for them, especially in a tough farm economy. The long term of this, though, should sort of shine a light for every American. This is why the President's America First agenda and onshoring, whether it's manufacturing, now fertilizer, why that's so important. America is doing better than almost every other country on fertilizer because of our energy independence agenda. We have a big LNG here. LNG costs has actually come down since the beginning of the conflict, but we've got to build the infrastructure in this country, more infrastructure. We've got some, but more, where we can take that LNG, turn it into the nitrogen that the farmers need for the long-term sustainability and the protection of our own country, where we can feed ourselves and not rely on other countries. Thank you.
As President Trump says, don't be a panikin. This is all temporary. President Trump saying the war will end in the next few weeks once the job is done in Iran. And in your news to go as you start your day, a quick look at the president's schedule today. He had executive meetings this morning at 4 o'clock this afternoon Eastern. He participates in a policy meeting. Then at 7 o'clock tonight, he will have dinner with the U.S. ambassador to the Republic of India. And we all know what happens at 8 o'clock tonight. All eyes on Iran. For all news headlines, you can visit LINDELLTV.com and the Lindell TV app. Your daily Bible verse comes from the book of Corinthians. From the word of the cross is foolishness to those who are perishing, but to us who are being saved, it is the power of God. And that'll do it for us here this morning. Thank you so much for joining us today. We hope to see you right back here tomorrow, same time, same place. Have a good day, America.
Talk is cheap when it comes to saving our country. We're not just any cell phone service provider. We're Patriot Mobile. It's not enough to simply talk about values. We live them. Defending life, protecting our First and Second Amendments, and celebrating our military and first responder heroes. We're boots on the ground making a difference. We're America's only Christian conservative wireless provider with nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks and 100% U.S.-based customer service. Join Patriot Mobile today and make an impact every time you use your cell phone.
America's founders warned that without knowledge and virtue, no nation can remain free. Yet through the steady infiltration of Marxist ideology, we have been stripped of both, and we are no longer a moral and educated people. To save America, we must spark nothing less than a national renaissance. That's why you need Freedom Talk Magazine, the journal of truth and virtue. We cultivate enlightened thinking and principled living, offering unique insights into the issues and remarkable people defining our world. Sign up today for your free subscription to Freedom Talk Magazine and join the new American Renaissance.
For the first time ever, we're bringing you MyPillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our MyPillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our MyPillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door, absolutely free. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to get MyPillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping. If you want to drop extra pounds, boost energy levels, and reduce swelling in your legs and feet, then this message is for you. Pure Health Research is on a mission to make America healthy again. And 2 of their best-selling health supplements are leading the way. First is Liver Health Formula. Over 100 million Americans have a sluggish liver that's riddled with fatty deposits. This can kill your metabolism, pile on the pounds, and make you feel tired. Liver Health Formula takes care of that. It supports thriving liver health with special nutrients like artichoke extract and milk thistle. This is one of the easiest ways to slim down and revitalize your energy levels. Next is lymph system support. If you struggle with fluid buildup or swelling in your legs, ankles, and feet, this is for you. The natural ingredients in lymph system support help gently flush away extra fluid and toxins out of your body. And right now, for a limited time, you get 35% off Liver Health Formula and Lymph System Support. along with 50 plus other health supplements that Pure Health Research has to offer. So head over to purehealthresearch.com and use promo code Lindell at checkout. That's purehealthresearch.com, promo code Lindell to save 35% on your order today.
Welcome to Vocal, the free speech social app that gives you a platform to amplify your voice. Speak freely, connect boldly, and be part of a growing movement for truth, faith, and freedom. Want to know what's happening right now? The Now Playing feature shows you exactly who's live and what's streaming in real time. Check out the show's feed, a non-stop lineup including LINDELLTV News 24/7, shows and on-demand programming all in one place. Connect with your favorite host and never miss a show. Explore the featured page for quick access to LINDELLTV's top shows. Follow your favorites and watch their newest content flow right into your feed. And when they go live on Vocal, you can join the live chat and be part of the action. Ask questions, share your thoughts, even help shape future shows. Stay informed on issues around securing our elections by following your state's Cause of America account. Join a group and connect on a deeper level, from faith and freedom to the future of our nation. Go to vocal.com or download the app today and be a part of the mission to save our country.